The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Longman Simplified English Series. Read by Miss Lucilla Pondidum. Chapter 24. The Picnic. Hacks on the Tracks. The first thing Tom heard on Friday morning was a great piece of news. Just Texas family has come back to town. He saw Becky with a crowd of their schoolmates, and his delight was boundless when she told him that her mother had operated the next day. For the long delayed picnic, invitations were sent out before sunset. Tom had hope of hearing Huck's meal and of astonishing Becky and the picnicker with the teacher. The next day, but no signal came. But then o'clock the next morning, a great company has gathered at the station, and everything was ready for a start. The children were put in the shade of a few young teachers of the Sunday school. The ferry boat had been hired for the occasion. Soon the joyful crowd carrying buckets of food hurried up the main stairs. The last night Mr. Thatcher said to Becky was, "You'll not get back till late, Jill. Perhaps you better stay all night with some of the girls who live near the ferry landing. Then I stay with Susie Harper." "Mama," says Becky. As Tom and Becky hurry along, Tom says, "I say I tell you what to do. Instead of going to Mr. Harper, we come right up the hill and stay at Window Douglas. She have lovely quakes, and she be so glad to have us." "But what will Mama say?" says Becky hesitatingly. However, the Window Douglas kind hers and Tom's persuasion tempted Becky, and it was decided to say nothing to nobody about their new program. Soon it's awkward to Tom that Huck might give the signal the very night. But the signal did not come the night before, so why should it be any more likely to come tonight? He determined not to allow himself to think of the box of money another time that day. He might borrow. The town, the ferry boat was till up at the mouth of Little Wooden River. The Councilman Marshal game were arrived, and soon the forest echoed for and while with shouting and laughter, then came the destruction of the good thing in their baskets. After the feast, there was a refreshing rest and talk in the church. Presently somebody shouted, "Who ready for the curve?" Every watt bundle of candles were poured out, and as one every began to come out the hill. The mouth of the cave was high up the hillside. Its massive door stood unbarred. Inside was a small chamber, as cool as an ice chest, and walled by natural whistle Ramstone. Candles were lit, and the children made their way down the steep descent of the main path, which was not more than 8 or 10 feet wide. Then, candlelight dimly revealed the actual roof overhead. Every few steps also narrow passages ran up on either hand, for the cave contained a very great number of twisting passages. No one knew the end of it. Most of the young men of the village knew a small part of it, and it was not customary to go beyond this. The procession moved along the main avenue for about 3/4 of a mile, and the children began to slip aside into blank passages and pay hide and seek, talking each other the surprise where the passage joined again. Finally, one group after another came wandering back, village coral whistler, and candle dipping from his 2 foot, and entirely delighted with the success of the day. They were astonished to find that the sun had set. The bell had been calling for half an hour when the ferry boat with her merry passenger pushed into the river. Nobody cared still for the was time but the captain. Huck was already watching when the ferry boat light went glittering past. He heard no noise on board, for the children were as quiet as people who are trying out archery are. The night was going cozy and dark. 11 o'clock came and the inlight were put out. Huck was a very long time, but nothing happened. Why not give up and go to bed? An origin is here. He sprang into a doorway. The next moment, 2 men brushed by him, and one seemed to have something under his arm. It must be the block. So they were going to remove the tissue. Should he call Tom now? Now, that would be silly. The man would get away and never be found again. He must follow. They walked a short distance up the street leading to the river and turned to the left up across it. Then they went a step ahead until they came to the path that led up Cardiff Hill. This there took half, went up the hill, then past the house of the old Westman, Mr. Jones, and still climbed upwards among the tall brush. How shortened his distance now, for they would never be able to see him. He hurried on for a time and then slowed down, feeling that he was getting too near them. He stopped and listening. He was about to spring on when a man cleared his throat. Not 4 feet from him, Huck heard shot into his mouth, but he swallowed it again. He knew where he was within 5 steps of the fence allowed window Douglas guard. Now, there was a very low voice. Red-skinned Joe caused her perhaps. She has guessed. He alive although it's late. Yes, they must be just there. Better give it then. He was the wife of the stranger of the hunter hour. Give it up, Jason. I'm about to leave this country forever. Never, I tell you again, I don't want the money. Her husband was just who had me thrown into prison as a vegetable. And that isn't the main part of it. He had me pursued with a horse seal hippos like a self. With all the town looking on, I died and escaped me. But she suffered for it. Oh, don't kill her. Don't do it. Kill. Who says anything about killing? When you want to take revenge on pretty woman, you don't kill her. No. You go for her face and spoil it with a knife. My gosh, that's keep your opinion to yourself, my friend. You help me. If you hesitate, I kill you. You do understand that? And if I don't to kill you, I kill her. And then nobody will know who did the job. Well, the quicker we do it, the better. Now, and people there. No, we wait until the lights are out. Then no hurry. Within infinite care, Huck stepped back little by little until he judged that he was safe. Then he flew like the wind. Down, down. He lay till he reached the basement. He banged at the door, and the head of the old man and his son were thrust from window. Let me in, Mr. Joe, quickly. It's Mr. Very Finn. I will do everything. Let him in, boy. And let's see what the trouble is. Please don't tell anyone that I told you were her first words when he got in. Please don't I be like you. But the window being a good friend to me something, and I want to tell. He must have something important to tell us, or he wouldn't behave so, says the old man. Speak out, Huck. I promise you that nobody here will never tell. Huck hurried, told them what he had overheard, and a few minutes later the old man and his son, well armed, were up the hill and tiptoeing toward the friend Huck hidden behind a greased log, listening exactly. All of a sudden, it was the sound of shot and a cry. Huck waits for no detail. He dashed down the hill as fast as his leg could carry him.